Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands, with your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
This is Ian Abel, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guest do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather, and as always, I bring you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a privilege to have Mr. Ian Abel. He is LA-based singer, songwriter. Ian Abel has released the official music video for his single, Shoes. Shoes was also featured in a special All Elite Wrestling's Double or Nothing debut pay-per-view promoting the match between brothers Cody and Dustin Rhodes, which Dustin Rhodes, if anybody doesn't know, is a.k.a. the Natural and Gold Dust. So you guys and gals must be living under a rock if you don't know who Dustin Rhodes is. So, Ian, how's it going, man?
It's good. Everything's good. Everybody should know who Dustin Rhodes is.
You would think, if you're a wrestling fan, I mean, come on, guys. Don't let us down here.
Agreed. Yeah, look him up. Google it.
Yeah.
Google it. How are you doing?
Doing awesome. Glad to have you on here and talk about this because this is really cool, man, to branch out the way you did. So let's jump right into this.
Yeah.
How's it been working with Tag Publicity so far for you?
They're wonderful. I haven't ever used like a publicist before. I talked with a few, but I spoke with Tom on the phone, and we had a couple of little phone meetings, and I was like, let's do it because they have a great resume. They've worked with some people that I'm big fans of myself, and Tag's awesome. I like them a lot.
This is really cool about this song. There's a lot of stuff about this song, and I think it's kind of a meant to be thing for you if you think about it, because you wrote this song at the age of 19 with a guy out of Nashville named Mike Cullison. What was the appeal to hang on to this song and keep it and then now release it?
I met Mike. We were doing like a songwriting workshop thing, and I'd only been playing guitar for maybe like 3 years, I think. And we got together and we started playing it, and I just thought it was like a wonderful tune. And my mom, she really liked it, so I just always continued to play it for her. But there's just something about it. Anytime we play it, I'd play it out, or at songwriter workshops, or at open mic nights and things like that. And something about it, really spoke to me, and I just decided I'm going to keep plugging away with it, and we re-recorded it properly this past year, and I guess everything that deep down inside it said, hey, keep playing the song until it hits. I guess that was correct.
And you're right. There's something about that song. I mean, you can't just listen to it once and then say, well, okay, well, let's do it later. It's kind of like a repeative thing to me, because I've been listening to it ever since I got this press release, and plus since the AEW's pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
I'd been listening to it, so I'm like, it's real catchy. It's got a deep tone meaning, I guess, if that makes sense.
100%. And what's most interesting about that is, clearly to me, the song has a meaning.
Yeah.
That's different than, for instance, I had somebody reach out this past week from Australia, just randomly sent me a direct message, and that that person's father was gotten cancer, I think of the bowel, I believe. And so the song had a completely different meaning to him. And he was telling me how much he, just in a letter, how much he loved the song. And that, if I could only wear his shoes line meant that if he could only be in his father's shoes and fight that battle for him. And so it's interesting once you put a song out there, how it has a meaning to the songwriter clearly, but how the audience or people will interpret it takes it a completely different level.
Exactly.
I was honored to receive that email from that person.
That just sent like chills up my arm. That's
she telling me.
Wow. That's yeah, man, exactly. You guys sent it out there and put it in your own words, but we interpret it a different way, which is cool, I think.
Yeah. It was cool. I mean, when I read that, I immediately called my dad, and I'm close to my father, so I was like, "Hey, I just received this. I just want to tell you I love you." And it's interesting. It's really interesting.
Yeah. I lost my dad. This November will be 20 years now. So.
Oh man, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's every day gets better. I keep saying that, but you never forget. And I wish I could have fought his battle as well, but I couldn't. So.
What was your father's name?
My father's name was Sidney Marshall.
I'm going to have a drink for Sidney Marshall this evening.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. What's impressed or excited you the most, Ian, about making the 11-track debut album, if anything? What's caught your eye the most or impressed you the most?
What impressed me probably the most is the fact that we went in and did drums for the entire album in one day. My drummer, Kenny Schwartz, is an absolute psycho, I guess, because he went in. So, when you do a recording session, you take the longest to get drum sound. And we were at United Studio B, which is a legendary recording room. And we were in there with our master audio engineer and great friend, John Graber, and his assistant, good pal, Reed Wolcott. And so it took about 4 or 5 hours, to get the proper sounds that we wanted, going through an old Neve console. And then after we said that, we hit record, and my drummer Kenny, he just went to town. And most of the songs, I believe Shoes was a one take too. It was ridiculous. 11 songs one day in 8 hours is unheard of.
Releasing the video for Shoes, was it hard to choose between the current set of songs on this album, which one would be the first single, let alone a video, or was it just hands down you knew it was Shoes?
We had ideas because we got a couple other ones that are a little bit more pop radio friendly, I suppose. They're still very southern rock and country in vein, because I can't lose my accent being from Kentucky. But but when AEW decided that we were in talks with them that they wanted to use Shoes, that's when we had to. That told us what we had to put out. And then luckily we were playing a show at the Troubadour a week later, and we just cycled everything in together there. We're like, okay, well, we'll just cut the video for that there.
We're going to be talking about that here in just a little bit, but I want to ask you this question first. But the music video for Shoes, that was directed by Mitch Parks. How was working with him on this?
Mitch is a genius. The man, the way his editing's brilliant. He directs. He's so cool to be around and to hang out with, and everything's laid back. That's kind of the feel of our band, is everything's just laid back. We're going with the flow, and we're going to figure it out. And Mitch is, he would say, do this, do that. And then he edited everything together brilliantly, sent me a rough copy. And we got together one night and did a few minor changes. But basically what you see is that video is Mitch's idea from the get-go. So he's brilliant. The guy's brilliant.
How did this come together with AEW to pick up your song Shoes? I mean, I know it features, of course, the legendary match between brothers Cody and Dustin Rhodes, but how did they pick this up, man? Let's talk about that. How did this all come together?
Oh, man, buckle up. Okay, so I got a wild hair about me one day around lunchtime, and I just sent out an email for a song that we'd released previously called Walkout. And I knew a lot about the AEW's coming up as a wrestling fan, and I knew that there was a lot of WWE talent jumping ship, per se, or their contracts would run out. And I just sent an email essentially to Brandy, which is Cody's wife, and I found her email, and I sent her an email saying, like, hey, here's a song. I hope you like it. I think it'd be good for promotional material, if you want to throw a little dig, here and there. And I didn't think anything of it. And 45 minutes later, I get an email back from her saying that she gets a lot of music all the time, and she usually dislikes a lot of it, but she really liked the song. And then she actually went ahead and showed Cody within that time frame, and he wanted another song. He liked my song, but he wanted something a little different because he had a match planned. I had no idea it was going to be for the Dustin Cody match of the century. I had no clue. I just knew that he had a match coming up. And he sent me a song, and they wanted something a little, bluesy or a little sadder, per se. And I was like, okay, I got some ideas. And I sent them a few other things, and one of which was the rough cut of Shoes. It wasn't fully mastered yet. And I did not, for the life of me, think that they were going to use that tune. I just was showing them as an example. And they went ahead and pulled the trigger, because I actually went in the studio that weekend and did a whole other song, which I thought was awesome. And it's a great song, and he really liked it. But we were in talks for about a month and a half leading up to it. And I thought we were talking about the song that I wrote for him just as a common courtesy. Just like, okay, here, I'll do this for free, no charge. Check it out. But it turned out he actually wanted shoes and had this grand scheme. I had no idea. It was really cool. I had no clue what we were talking about the whole time.
To me, that match in the modern day era of wrestling, from me growing up till now, that's like Sting versus Muta back in the day. You know?
Yes, 100% agree.
Yeah,
100% agree. I couldn't, because that whole card was incredible.
Oh God, yeah.
Like every match was great. The fans were watching it. It reminded me of a blend of like the American wrestling crowd plus the way that like the Japanese watch, where it's quiet and you're watching the athleticism and the actual match happen. But so every card is nuts, and you got the Young Bucks fighting, which they're always so great, and Jericho's and Kenny Omega's amazing. But that match happened to just be the one, and I was honored to be a part of that.
But it also puts you in mind of the throwback of Monday Night Raw and Monday Nitro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Monday Night Wars. Oh yeah, it's coming again. They're taking over the Tuesday night spot. It's happening. People, for the hardcore fans, know what's coming.
Yeah, and
everyone else is starting to get hip to it. But that's why. I love everything about the AEW, as far as why I reached out to them to begin with. They provide travel and health care, and they're for the fans, and that's just something that speaks to me as an artist.
I think if Dusty Rhodes was alive today, he'd have been in tears after that show, after that match. Honestly,
he was watching down, crying, loving it. He was loving it. Cutting another great promo upstairs is what he was doing.
I love wrestling, man. I've loved wrestling ever since I was a little kid. Nowadays, wrestling pretty much sucks except for New Japan Wrestling, and we've got AEW now. So hopefully, we are in good hands. Hopefully,
I know we are. Those guys, the entire team's brilliant. The entire AEW staff is brilliant. They essentially got their start as YouTube stars. Not their start, but they built this entity, from just YouTube videos, and having a solid, and there's no better fan base than wrestling in the world. As a musician, I love my rock fans, I love my country fans, but there's just no better fan base, no more loyal fan base than wrestling. I've been to 3 WrestleManias myself,
Nice.
It's incredible.
Any song standing out more to you than any right now on this new album, possibly? I know, Ian, that they change every time you listen to it, and I know these are your babies, you're close to them, but do you have anything that stand out other than Shoes for you?
Let's see, there's a song called Outlaw, which is about Kentucky moonshiners.
Yes, sir.
Maybe it's a couple cousins I've got. I don't know, maybe not. I ain't saying it depends on who's listening. So that one clearly. And there's a song we got called California Nights that's a very big summer song, because I live in Los Angeles now, and it's just essentially like what it's like to be out here, during the summertime in California, but I don't think it's in a cheesy way. Yeah. We try to do everything as honest as possible. So there's a couple. There's a song called 20s Magic that's, I think, going to hit. We got 10 more songs of absolute bangers, I think, and we got 30 more we haven't recorded yet. So
those 30, are they eventually going to make it onto another album, possibly, that you're going to work on down the line?
Oh, yeah. No, we're going to probably start recording them here, starting to record new stuff this year, because literally it's like, I don't know, it's the only thing I know how to do. I was born to play guitar. To write songs.
How was working with master audio engineer John, and I hope I pronounced his last name correctly, Graber? How was working with him on all this?
John, John and Kenny are both, my drummer, they're both from Long Island. They went to high school together. So there's something in the water from where they're around. Because John is crazy, but the man is brilliant. He literally, when it comes to getting guitar sounds too, there is nobody better on the planet than John Graber. I got so lucky to be able to be introduced to him and to get to work with him. He's a great songwriter too. He's got a band called American Splendor that he's in that's fantastic.
Who's doing the cover photo or art for the album for you, man?
Oh, that would be a guy by the name of Brian Love. He's our go-to photographer. It'll probably be the next one when we have like maybe a nice actual drawing or design. This one, because we're still on the come up, it's best to always, every single or every piece of artwork that gets put out, at least have the face on it so people will know, like, oh, there's that guy's ugly mug. He must be the one who's singing,
It's all about him. It's all about him.
Yeah. I just want people to know who to yell at if they don't like it.
So what do you hope everyone takes away from this album, or message you hope they hear while listening to it, Ian, or just any of your music in general? What do you hope everybody gets from it?
Oh, man, when you're growing up playing and you got all these dreams of, headlining festivals and tours and, you want to be a big, like, rock star, but it's times when you get messages like I received last week about the guy talking about how much a piece of art a song I put out, has touched him and given him some sort of joy in this fight with his dad's cancer. And it's those moments to me that now, I guess, change everything. So I guess what I want people to get from it is whatever, I want them to like it. I want them to receive it and enjoy it. And if whatever the song has a meaning to them that brings inspiration, I believe that's probably the most important thing right now.
Do you see yourself and this band still musically growing, or has it just been more of a personal growth for all of you guys involved?
Oh, we're always growing. As an individual songwriter, and I'll bring a song to the band. Generally, I'll bring it to my drummer, Kenny Purse. He's kind of I was going to make a Top Gun reference, and I just dropped it. That's embarrassing. Usually he's my, my second in command. He's my guy. And so I'll bring him a song, and we'll sit there and we'll demo it. And like for this whole album, we demoed every song before in our rehearsal space. We got a nice little setup. And so every song was recorded, and then we essentially re-recorded them, and that's what we do. And we always, with every song, we try to think a little bit more outside the box. Like, for instance, the song California Nights I mentioned before, it doesn't have a bass solo in the song, but it has a bass verse. Because I can't think of one song where the bass guitar takes the lead, like, vocal line. And it just seemed to work. We'll see if it works. we'll see if it works.
What can fans expect at a show from the Ian Abel Band? What are they going to get when they come to see you guys live?
They're going to get high energy, hot chicks in the crowd.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
It's a bunch of awesome people there to rock out. It's high energy. And what you hear on the record is essentially you're going to get that live, just with maybe a couple of little extended lead solo sections and some funny commentary from the stage. It's a good time. It's a good time.
I'll still be batting like 0 for 1,000 with the chicks. It don't matter.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Yeah,
you hear that accent, John, and be like, hold on, where are you from?
Look, I'm from Kentucky, baby.
They'll be like, call me ma'am again. I like that.
We're living in the digital era of recording albums, and to get them out quicker, and plus now we got social media to reach out to more people who've not got to hear of you as of yet, plus young bands. Mm-hmm. Do you like this that we're in right now?
Whether I like it or not, I don't think it's up to me, because this is the format we have to play in. I mean, I'm a classic rock, old school country fan, so I love vinyl right from the get. I still like going and buying CDs even at record stores. I think that it's pretty cool that we are able to put something out immediately. It does bring a lot of the power back to the artist, and the bands were able to now grow our following. Like, my number one listened to city for the song Shoes is London.
Oh, wow.
Which, yeah, it's wild to think that, and so clearly U.S. is the biggest country, but Canada and England are our number twos. And it's just interesting to think that we are semi-international at the moment. And back in the day, you need major label support and everything to do that. Mm-hmm. And now it's, you can score a song on a promo of match of the year, and next thing you know, people are spreading your tune around. You're having great conversations with a guy named John on the phone. You know what I'm saying?
But does that shock you, though, that you're getting support overseas like that from like Australia, now London? I mean, just to grab their attention to play your music or listen to it. I wouldn't say shocked so much. I believe we put in a lot of work, and everything we've recorded and written, it comes from the heart. Sure.
So, and I think people are getting pretty fed up with a lot of like, radio music. You can only be pussy money weed for so long until someone's like, will someone write a real song, And there's a lot of great bands out there doing it. And I think people are finally reaching out and finding the real bands that are playing actual music that have real meanings that touch people. Does it blow my mind? 100% that, a bunch of people in London are spreading the song around. That's amazing. So it shocks me there, but it doesn't shock me because, it's the British invasion is all the music that I love the most. So I think everybody's just looking for the next real thing to hit.
What made you want to become a musician? What was that spark for you that said, yeah, I want to do this?
Oh, God. Okay. Okay, so growing up in Kentucky, you know how it is. It's all sports for the most part.
Yes, sir.
It's either sports, on the weekends you're hunting, you're doing whatever you can to get out of the house. And literally, I think I was 15 years old, and I watched the movie School of Rock, and I kid you not, that just turned it on. I was like, I want to play guitar. I want to be a lead guitar player. I swear to God, a kid's movie. So depending on how life goes from here, I'm either going to hug or hit Jack Black when I see him. So, it's going to be a super kick party, or I'm going to give him a big old hug. Say thank you. Your kids' movie, School of Rock, opened up. Once I touched my first electric guitar, I fell asleep with it. It's just strumming. And that was it. It was game over from there. That's all I was doing.
It's so crazy that he is an awesome actor, but yet a fucking awesome musician as well.
Jack Black rips. He is the man. I love that guy. He is so great.
He reminds me of and I don't want to get no hate mail or any hate message on this, but kind of reminds me of the modern day Chris Farley in a way.
100%. Honestly, I'm not sure why they didn't go with Jack Black as the genie in the new Aladdin movie. He would have been incredible. No digs on Will Smith, but Jack Black was the clear winner there.
That'd been cool. That'd been really cool.
That'd been awesome. He's the man. He made a movie about a polka musician. Like, who does that? and Nacho Libre, wrestling. It's a wrestling movie.
Exactly.
God, he's the man. He's the freaking man.
Is there a band on the bucket list for you, Ian, that you would like to tour with, or maybe do an old school album split with, possibly?
Woo! Yeah, 100%. So, being a Southern guy, I'm a big fan of Jason Isbell. I absolutely love Jason Isbell. I think he's probably the songwriter of our generation that the majority of people haven't heard of. That being said, I love Jack White and the Rackin' Tours. I know they're touring. That'd be cool. Lucas Nelson, Willie Nelson's son, his band, and The Promise of the Real. They're amazing. Being from Louisville, My Morning Jacket's a band that I love. And I guess I got to say Tenacious D, since Jack Black's my hero, apparently.
Oh, man. Ian, how can folks stay in touch with you guys? Buy some merchandise, this album, everything when it drops. How can they do that?
We're doing everything through our Instagram and Twitter at Ian Abel Band, IANABEL Band, BAND. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I think it's like Facebook/Ian Abel Band. We're pretty much just running everything through there as we get our website back up to date and looking pretty. So that's where we're going to be.
Before I let you go, good sir, would you care to do a promo for my show?
Sure, let's do it. This is Ian Abel, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Radio Network. Please get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our podcast link, YouTube link, and soon our Twitch link. Also, please get out and check out Ian Abel. Pretty sure you're going to dig his stuff. Trust me, really good singer-songwriter. And I wish you guys the best of luck, Ian, and keep kicking ass for us, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you, John. It's been a pleasure.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.